The 5 phrases manipulators use to make you feel guilty. Did you know that psychological research shows guilt is one of the most powerful tools for controlling human behavior, and manipulative people exploit it deliberately and strategically? Shocking, right? But here's what's even more disturbing. Manipulators use specific phrases, carefully crafted guilt-tripping language that makes you feel responsible for their feelings, their problems, and their happiness. Today, I'm going to break down 5 phrases manipulators use to make you feel guilty. Phrases so effective that you've probably been controlled by them without even realizing it. Before we begin, if you are ready to recognize guilt manipulation and protect yourself from emotional control, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. Now, let's expose these toxic phrases. Listen very carefully, because what I'm about to reveal could free you from emotional manipulation that's been controlling your life. Guilt is a powerful emotion that most people feel deeply, and manipulators know this. They've learned that if they can make you feel guilty, they can make you do almost anything. They can control your decisions, your time, your money, and your relationships, all without you realizing you're being manipulated. The guilt feels real, it feels justified, so you don't question whether it's being weaponized against you. Think about this for a moment. How many times have you done something you didn't want to do because someone made you feel guilty about saying no? How many times have you sacrificed your own needs because someone convinced you that taking care of yourself was selfish? What if I told you that guilt manipulators use the same 5 phrases over and over because they work with devastating effectiveness? Don't miss a single second of this video, because recognizing these phrases is the first step to breaking free from guilt-based control and reclaiming your right to make decisions without manipulation. Without wasting another moment, let's reveal these manipulative phrases. Number 1. After everything I've done for you. When someone throws this phrase at you, especially during a disagreement or when you've set a boundary, they're not reminding you of their kindness, they're weaponizing it. This is debt collection manipulation, and it's designed to make you feel like you owe them unlimited compliance because of past favors or support. What they're really saying is, you're obligated to do what I want because I helped you in the past, and that debt can never be fully repaid. Here's the psychology behind this guilt trip. Genuine kindness is given freely without expectation of future payment, but manipulators keep a mental ledger of everything they've ever done for you, and they cash it in whenever they want to control your behavior. By reminding you of their past actions, they're creating guilt that makes you feel ungrateful, indebted, and obligated to comply with their current demands, no matter how unreasonable those demands might be. If someone regularly reminds you of what they've done for you, especially when you're trying to assert yourself or make decisions they don't like, recognize this as guilt manipulation. Pay attention to the pattern. Do they only bring up their past help when they want something from you? Do they frame your independence or boundaries as betrayal of their previous kindness? Do they make you feel like you can never do enough to balance the scales? This isn't love or genuine support. This is strategic investment with expected returns. Real generosity doesn't come with strings attached. Real support doesn't create permanent debt. Protect yourself by understanding that past help doesn't entitle someone to control your present or future. You can be grateful for what someone has done for you while still maintaining boundaries and making your own choices. The correct response is, I appreciate what you've done for me, but that doesn't mean you owe me control over my decisions. Don't let guilt manipulators turn kindness into currency they can spend to buy your compliance. Number 2, I guess I'm just a bad person then. When you try to address someone's hurtful behavior and they respond with this phrase, they're not accepting responsibility or showing genuine remorse. This is guilt reversal, a manipulation tactic where they flip the script and make themselves the victim of your legitimate complaint. What they're really doing is punishing you for speaking up by making you comfort them instead of them addressing their behavior. Here's how this manipulation works. Instead of acknowledging what they did wrong and apologizing, they catastrophize your feedback into a total condemnation of their character. By claiming you think they're a bad person, they force you into damage control mode, where you have to reassure them that you don't think that you still care about them, that they're not bad. In the process of comforting them, your original complaint gets completely abandoned and nothing changes. They've successfully avoided accountability while making you feel guilty for bringing up the issue in the first place. If someone responds to your concerns by claiming you think they're terrible, awful, or a bad person, when you said nothing of the sort, you're being guilt manipulated. Pay attention to how they handle criticism. Do they always turn it into an attack on their entire character rather than addressing the specific behavior? Do you find yourself apologizing to them when they should be apologizing? Do conversations about their actions always end with you comforting them? This is strategic deflection designed to train you not to bring up problems because it's emotionally exhausting and counterproductive. Real accountability looks like, I hear you, I'm sorry I hurt you, I'll work on that. Guilt manipulation looks like, well, I guess I'm just the worst person ever, you must hate me. One takes responsibility, the other demands reassurance. Protect yourself by refusing to comfort someone who's avoiding accountability. The correct response is, this isn't about you being a bad person, this is about a specific behavior I need you to change. And if they continue the guilt reversal, recognize that they're choosing manipulation over genuine communication and adjust your expectations accordingly. Number 3, if you really loved me, you would. When someone uses this phrase to pressure you into doing something, they're not expressing their needs or testing your love, they're manipulating you through conditional affection. This is one of the most insidious forms of guilt tripping because it directly questions your love, care, or commitment while demanding compliance. What they're really saying is, prove your love by doing what I want, or I'll doubt your feelings for me. The manipulation mechanism is that by tying your actions to your feelings, they create a false equivalence where saying no or setting boundaries means you don't care enough. This puts you in an impossible position where your love is constantly being tested and proven through compliance rather than being accepted as a given. It transforms the relationship into a series of loyalty tests where you have to demonstrate your commitment by sacrificing your needs, wants, or boundaries. If someone regularly questions your love or commitment based on whether you comply with their requests, you're in a manipulative relationship. Pay attention to this pattern. Do they only question your love or commitment when you say no or set boundaries? Do they act like reasonable limits are evidence you don't care? Do you constantly feel like you have to prove your love through sacrifice? This is guilt manipulation that weaponizes the relationship itself. Real love doesn't require constant proof through compliance. Real relationships understand that you can love someone deeply and still have boundaries, still say no, still prioritize your own well-being. The healthy version is, I'd really like you to do this for me, but I understand if you can't. The manipulation version is, if you loved me, you would do this without question. Protect yourself by recognizing that love and compliance are not the same thing. The correct response is, I do love you, and that's exactly why I'm being honest about my limits rather than agreeing to something I can't sustain. Don't let anyone use your affection as leverage to guilt you into behavior that harms you. That's not love, that's control. Number 4, I'm only like this because of what you did. When someone blames their bad behavior, their emotions, or their choices on something you did, they're engaging in responsibility transfer. This guilt-tripping phrase is designed to make you feel like you caused their negative actions, and therefore you're responsible for fixing them or tolerating their mistreatment. What they're really saying is, I'm not accountable for my behavior because you made me act this way. Here's why this is so effective as manipulation. It reframes their choices as your consequences. If they yell at you, it's because you stressed them out. If they ignore you, it's because you disappointed them. If they treat you poorly, it's because you did something to deserve it.
This creates a guilt spiral where you're constantly trying to manage their behavior by managing your own, walking on eggshells to avoid triggering their negative reactions. You become responsible for their emotional regulation and behavioral choices, which is an impossible and unfair burden. If someone consistently blames their actions on your behavior, making you feel like you're the cause of how they treat you, recognize this as guilt manipulation and abuse justification. Pay attention to the pattern. Are you always the reason for their bad behavior? Do they never take responsibility for how they choose to respond to situations? Do you find yourself constantly apologizing and changing your behavior to avoid their negative reactions? This is manipulation designed to make you believe you control their choices, which then makes you feel responsible when those choices are harmful. The reality is that every adult is responsible for their own behavior, regardless of what someone else does. Your actions don't cause their reactions.